Alright, all good. So I'm sitting here with one of probably the closest people in my life. So I know everything about what happens in his life. He knows everything about what happens in my life. And as I've always said, you know, this Amatyma series is really about opening up the conversation for men who are fathers. And remember, I always remind you guys that it's not just limited to biology. There are people who are uncles there who are looking after their nephews and nieces. There are neighbors who are looking after the neighbors' kids. So it just extends beyond the biology part of it. So I've got ANDILE, who's a very good friend and a brother, someone I respect, whose opinion I really take to heart. At times he tells me a lot of nonsense when I don't do the right things, and I do the same to him. What's up?
Easy, just
you good?
Easy.
You're a father of
4. My father of 4.
So he's a father of 4, 3 girls and 1 boy.
Yep.
Ne? And you've got quite an interesting dynamic because you're a single father. You are regarded as single.
I don't believe in that because that's got nothing to do with fatherhood. Your relationship status as a mother or a father has got nothing to do with your children.
Yes.
So I personally don't subscribe to single mother, single. Yes, you're single in your relationship status.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm a father and I am single, but I'm not a single father because I raise my children with their mothers.
Ah, okay.
You know, they're not single mothers because they raise their children with me.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? So you can't.
So the kids don't miss out on the.
There are those that raise them on their own.
Yeah.
My mom used to say when I was growing up that I'm not a single mother because I raise my children with God. You know, because that status has got nothing to do with the other. But there are those that believe, you know, being a single, raising, you know. So, but that's my belief anyway.
I like that because it just gives it a different tonality to it. Because I've always said that I'm doing this to talk to fathers who are single, married, or divorced. And the reason I say that specifically is because as a married father, my challenges will never be the same as a single father or a divorced father. We all have, the dynamics are different.
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason why I bring it up is not because I want to label you, but more so just to get to understand so that whoever's watching this, maybe they're in the same position as you, but they don't know how to handle their situation. So you are in a situation where you're dealing with 2 different mothers, right? And how's that though? How's that for you as someone who's trying to navigate through this fatherhood journey?
I think I've heard about those things and the complexities and the complications that come with it, and that's where the term baby mama is even derived out of, you know? Yeah. Because that's a negative connotation towards black women who are typically been difficult co-parents. Yeah. I don't. You can never call the 2 mothers of my children
baby mamas
because I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
You know, white women are not baby mamas.
Yeah.
Indian women are not baby mamas.
But black women are labeled as such.
So, by saying that, I say, I guess, I have very amazing, beautiful relationships with the mothers of my children.
Love that. How was your relationship with your father growing up?
The father who birthed me is not the father that raised me.
Right.
And I've had typically very good relationships with both of them, except they were very different relationships, but perfect for the time.
Okay. Meaning?
You know, in the late 80s and the early 90s, my father was a mere provider.
Yeah.
You know, that's what our parents grew up knowing. You know, I need to secure home.
Yeah.
You know, my dad never took me out to the field just to play.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah.
You know, he provided that I have everything I needed. And that was his way of showing love.
Right.
Which I appreciated. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
That's what he knew. That's what he got from his father.
Yeah. And that was his interpretation of love.
That was his interpretation of love.
Yeah.
You know, he cared for me, he provided. And that's how he loved me. That's how my fathers loved me. They provided. So that's how I grew up. I grew up being provided for as a show of love.
And did you at any point, whilst being raised by these 2 fathers, get confused about who's who in your life and who's kind of serving their purpose in your life?
No, it was simple for me. You know, my mom was married to my dad. They got divorced. My dad went a different way. She got remarried, and Elliot, and we were all young.
Yeah.
You know, I was still in primary school when my mom got remarried. That became my father, and you know, there was never a confusion. I know who's who in my life, and they know who they are in my life. I take nothing away from both of them, but that comes with with a certain maturity over time.
Yeah.
You know, to realize who's who in your life and etc. But yeah.
And would you have changed anything about the relationship you had with either of them? Are there things that you look back now, in retrospect, now that you're a father of 4, and you're like, I wish we could have done more of this with both of them? Because you had the best of both worlds, if you want to call it that.
They say hindsight is life's best teacher. The only problem is life doesn't have a reverse gear.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, no, I don't think so. I think what I need to teach my one dad is, the person I call father who raised me is now late.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot from him as far as fatherhood is concerned.
Yeah.
But my biological father, perhaps, I'd like for him to, I wouldn't want to change anything then because he did the best with what he had, with what he knew.
Yeah.
But I'd love for him to see me father. So,
your own.
So he could see what that looks like or what I would have needed. Maybe retrospect for him, but not for me. I'm pretty solid in that if you give me the best you have, the best you know how, the best you can, I can never go back and say you should have done any better.
Yeah, and you can't take that away from them.
Yeah, they did the best with what they had.
And would you like your biological father to have a relationship with your 4 kids? Is it something you desire for them?
I could never desire something for someone. Because if you desire it for them, then it's not coming from a genuine place. I'd love my dad to be the best grandfather he can be in the way that he knows how.
Yeah.
My late dad was my first daughter, Gabby.
Yeah.
Was literally the love of her life. The first man she ever loved. And he showed her what love is, and he showed her what a grandfather is, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
She's got those memories, and those are never going to go anywhere. So no, I only ever wish for people what they want for themselves. Even on your birthday, I say, I wish for you, not the best, not the most amazing. No, I wish for you what you wish and want for yourself.
Yeah. So when I listen to you talk about both your fathers, I'm just amazed at how you've turned out, in the sense that you are clear about what is meant to be in your life and what was not, right? Have you ever told both of them or either of them that you love them? Because there's a stigma. Like today, I just realized that I've never told my father I love him, and I'm 42. Today was my first experience of actually saying to him, bruh, I love you, because it's been like a whole taboo thing of being a man, not showing weakness and all those things.
I've never had a man say I love you to me, as far as a father figure is concerned.
Because I've told you I love you plenty times.
As far as a father figure, none of my dads have ever said to me I love you. But the lesson I get out of that is, and it's something I ingrain in my children, like so much so that when we hang up the call and they realize they didn't say I love you, they'll either call back or I'll call them say,
I love that.
So we never, even if we speak 5 times in a row, each and every call will end with I love you, bye. For me,
I love that. Why is that important? Why is that important to you and for them, I guess?
Life has, and many will say life has always been short for most.
Yeah.
But we are met with such shortened lives, and we hear so many things, we read so many people who've left so much unsaid.
Yeah.
At any given point, if anything ever happens to me, my daughter will never question whether I love her or not.
She will not.
And even worse, and I'm not talking about death, if my daughter is ever in a situation where she feels like shit, she'll never say shit.
Yeah.
My dad is not going to love me over this.
Yeah.
It's shit, I'm going to get into trouble for this.
But the love will never go away.
They'll never forget that. So anything and everything, in war, in pain, in whatever we go through, the foundation of that is love. Always.
The foundation of that is love. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I speak to this man, because you guys have no idea the kind of insight this man has and the wisdom. And he's younger than me, by the way. So before we close this interview, there's 3 questions that I always ask the fathers that I engage with on this platform. The first one is, what message would you give as ANDILE to someone out there who's a guy? He's been trying to have a child for years, whether he's married or whatever his status is, but it's just not happening. And he's probably feeling like the world is against him, or he's not favored by God. What would you say to someone like that who's probably watching this series?
I get this possibly because the man that raised me was not biologically my father.
Yeah.
So in any home where I father.
Yeah.
Meaning, if I meet a woman and I have a child with her,
Yeah.
or if I meet a woman who's got a child, in that house, I father.
Yeah.
When Gabi, Araceli, Talita comes home and they're friends, I father.
Yeah.
So fatherhood is a lot like leadership,
Yeah.
except it's for very few that are called, because not everybody can
be a father.
Everybody can make children,
But not everyone can be
not everybody can be a father.
Yeah.
So for those that can't make children, doesn't mean they can't father.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. 'Cause
So
they can
you need
father
to be
others.
you need to be very conscious of that, to say it's not that I can't father. You know, I can't produce child-making sperm.
Yeah.
That's biological.
Doesn't
you
take
know.
away from your fatherhood.
Yeah. So
DNA.
you can never say to me, no, I can't father. We grew up in the street where there was a man who loved soccer, would take all the kids,
Yeah.
you know, lollipop, and then we called him a father figure.
And that's fatherhood.
Yeah, in the hood, there were abantu beba very hands-on with us in our lives.
Yeah.
We called them malume, you know.
Yeah, and those are
because
fathers.
We didn't have a word for them. We didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
But that is fathering.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to be a father, be a father. Because
Yeah.
there's many children that
Who need fathers. Oh. There's many children who need fathers. Okay, the last two questions. If there's anything that you wish you could have said, or you wish you could still say, to both your fathers, what would it be? And you never got an opportunity to both of them.
Oh no, like I don't leave things unsaid. You know, I guess it's always a layer of gratitude, especially to my late father, because he taught me fatherhood. You know, he came into our lives. My mother had 3 children, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But you could never, people didn't even know that was not my biological father.
Yeah. I didn't even know.
Yeah, that's not actually the man that birthed me. So he taught me how to be a father. He taught me. And I remember because I had a beautiful baby girl with Rosette.
Yeah.
She got married and had another child.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying to me, "Uguti abantwana," and I was like, "Abantwana? No, I have 1 child there."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, son,
They are yours.
you have 2 children there, because what do you call your daughter's sister? What is that
Yeah.
to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
If
That's
you're
true.
saying this is my daughter and she's like, this is my sister."
Yeah. That's a child. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And in African culture, that is how it's been. Even with cousins. And
Yeah, that's your child.
this
So-
whole half sister, half brother thing is not an African thing. We
No,
all
I
know
don't
it.
have that. I don't know what that is. So yeah, I don't want to leave it. I never left anything unsaid. You know, even the last words on the phone minutes before my dad died. You know, he knew exactly how I felt, and he knew my level of gratitude.
That's dope. Final question before we close this, bro. 20 years from now, what is the one thing you want to say to your kids? If they're going to watch this 20 years from now, what do you want them to say?
Actually, I've got braces on, so I'm speaking funny. But I got
20 years
my
time, you
braces-
won't have braces, man.
I got my braces because my daughter Gabby doesn't have the best teeth. And she has to go get braces, and she was nervous and scared. And I said, "Baby,
Oh, wow.
I'll get braces with you."
Oh, wow. So you went with her.
So I went and we got braces.
And that's
You know what I mean?
fathering.
Yeah, I mean that's just leading her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 20 years from now, I want you to know that I did the best with what I knew, with what I had.
Yeah.
That's it. I really did the best with what I knew and what I had. And for the things you wish I had done better, I wish I knew better.
Yeah.
I do every day better, because not only are you a child that I'm supposed to love, no, you're a responsibility that I have.
Yeah.
And I look at it like that.
Yeah.
And mine is to make sure that I try to get you to the next phases of your life, every phase, unharmed, feeling loved, having ticked all the boxes that you feel you need to progress.
And feeling protected. Especially
All I
with
can
GBV.
do is the best I can with everything that I have. And I can't do any better than that. Because any better than that, I don't know. I read books to try and get that better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm around you every day. I call you every day to try and know that better. So love, what you have, what you are, is the best of what I had.
You heard it from him. It's the best of what he had. Amatyma Series. Say Danko. Yo. what a powerful conversation with ANDILE, like the wisdom that he was sharing. The fact that as a father you can only do so much. You can only do so much. That's humanly possible within your means, financial, emotional, mental and otherwise. And for me that's what Amatyma is about. Doing the best we can as fathers to our kids. And I keep repeating this. Fatherhood is not limited to biology. We learn every day, and the more we get to engage with more people, the more we get to learn about the power that fatherhood has on the greater good of society and the community at large. Amatyma, send us those videos, get in touch with us, DM us, because we want to talk to you, yes you, and all of you. Danko!